I am Akshata. I'm from Bardhaman Mahavir Medical College and Safdarjung Hospital. और मैं भी यहीं पे बैठती थी पहले ऐसे, सो इट फील सो ग्रेट कि मैं यहाँ पर अब खड़ी हूँ. तो एनी आइडिया हम लोग यहाँ पर क्यों आए हैं? हाँ, वुमेंस डे. अच्छा, इंटरनेशनल वुमेंस डे. ठीक है, तो क्यों सेलिब्रेट करते हैं इंटरनेशनल वुमेंस डे? मैं जितने भी क्वेश्चंस पूछूंगी आई विल बी गिविंग चॉकलेट्स, राइट? सो आई वांट यू टू बी वेरी इंटरैक्टिव. LPS is famous for students like me, like everyone, like you. We all are so interactive, right? So you're going to answer. Even if you're wrong, you're going to answer. Why do you think we celebrate International Women's Day?
So, hi everyone. My name is Ananya, and as you know, we're here to discuss about periods. And do you know what day today is? Anybody? Women's Day. So, does anybody know why we celebrate Women's Day on 8th March?
Because women play many role in our life, like mother, sister, and so also they can't take the fees for anything. So we always thankful to them because of play important.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. But why we celebrate Women's Day on this specific date is because many years back in Soviet Union, this day women got the right to vote, suffrage. So that's why the United Nations, they adopted this date as International Women's Day.
अच्छा, आप मुझे एक बात बताओ. आपको जब चोट लगती है, सो यू पीपल ब्लीड, राइट? सो ऐसा होता है कि जब आपको चोट लगती है, नॉट अलाउड टू गो टू अ टेम्पल. You're not allowed to go to a temple, you're allowed to go to a temple. Allowed, exactly, right. So, चोट लगना क्या कोई नॉर्मल चीज़ होती है? मतलब नॉर्मल नहीं है ना. It's not a physiology. Do you understand physiology? Physiology means जो आपकी बॉडी में नॉर्मली हो रहा है. चोट लगना is other than physiology. ठीक है. But ऐसा कभी होता है कि we females we bleed and we are not allowed to go to the temples? Come on, children. Don't nod your head. Say yes or no. LPS yaar nahi, please, this is not my school. Say yes. So you're not allowed to go to temples, right? You're bleeding and not allowed to go to temples. But you get hurt, you bleed, you're allowed to go to temples. Is it wrong or is it right? It's wrong. Anyone who says right, let's be frank. Okay, I'm not going to shame you or something like that. Do you think it's right or wrong? Anyone who wants to say it's right? Is this happening to your homes? Is this happening to you in your homes? No, this is not happening. That's great. That's great. But this is happening with so many girls in India. So today, we students of VMMC and also the members of Medical Students Association of India are here to talk to you about periods, menstruation. So what do you already know about periods? अच्छा, the most important point is periods तो girls को होते हैं ना, boys को होते हैं क्या? नहीं होते. तो फिर आप सब क्यों आए हो? एनी बॉय प्लीज, क्यों आए हो? सेमिनार तो सिर्फ इसलिए आए हो? अच्छा, अब पता चल गया ना, अब तो पीरियड्स में हम बात कर रहे हैं. अब चले जाओगे? चले जाओगे? खड़े हो जाओ. खड़े जाओ. Will you go away if you know that we are going to talk about periods? Why? अरे हंस क्यों रहे हो? नहीं, प्लीज इधर आओ. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल क्लैप फॉर हिम. चलो, चॉकलेट. ठीक है, अब मुझे बताओ क्यों जाना है?
मैम, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ फीमेल थिंग.
अच्छा, इट्स अ फीमेल थिंग. ठीक है, तो मतलब हमें बॉयज़ को नहीं सीखना चाहिए इस बारे में?
मैम, इट इज़ नॉट नेसेसरी.
इट इज़ नॉट नेसेसरी. ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम. देखो, द मेन पॉइंट इज कि बॉयज़ को क्यों इस बारे में जानना चाहिए? बिकॉज आपके यू हैव मदर्स, यू हैव सिस्टर्स, यू हैव फ्रेंड्स, राइट? At any point of your life or at some point of your life, you are around the girls who are menstruating, who are in pain, who are bleeding. So this is your social responsibility to know about those girls, to help them out, right? I am a future doctor. Can you imagine if I be so mean and I stop caring about anyone else and I start caring only about me? I am not having cancer. Should I stop studying about cancer? Should I stop studying about cancer? No? Okay. So forget about doctors. Let's say a policeman, right? So he has been like posted in a place, right? And his job is to do something, like to talk about thieves, to know about thieves. Now there is a murder happening. He should not think about murder? मतलब we are social beings, so we should not be mean. We should know about our fellow friends, we should know about mothers, we should know about our sisters, everyone else. Like, so similarly, if I'm calling boys here to know about girls' problems, even girls should know about boys' problem. Another motive of me to call you all boys here is to let's finish this taboo. Menstruation, periods is a physiological process. There's nothing to be ashamed of it. We talk to, like, Soham, do you know about menstruation? Of course you do, right? Not only because he's an MBBS student, because he's a responsible citizen, right? He knows that what problems I go through and how to help me during those periods. So here we are. So we'll start with the presentation.
How to take care. First, we need to know the female system, okay? So I'll show you some diagrams and then I'll explain them to you. So this is the diagram of external female genitalia. So we'll go through the structures one by one. First of all, the topmost structure that we can see, it's the clitoris, and it's part of the external genitalia, which is known as vulva. Now, there are two lip-like structures. The external ones are known as labia majora, and the internal ones are known as labia minora. Now, in females, we have three openings. One which is known as urethra. Everybody knows that from urethra you excrete out urine, right? And then there is the vagina, from which we bleed, from which a child is born. And then there is the anus, through which defecation occurs. Next. Now we will study the cross section. So,
Do you understand what is cross section? Better stand up, please. Come here. So you're going to see your body. This is cross section. If I cut your body from here. And next image will be this. This is called anterior posterior. Okay?
So in the cross section, we can mainly see three structures inside. First of all, there is the urinary bladder, which stores the urine, and it excretes out through the urethra. Then we have the uterus. The uterus is also known as the womb, in which the child is there, the fetus is present. Then we have a vagina, which is the opening of the uterus. Then we have the rectum, which stores the feces, and anus, which excretes it out. Now, the structure on the right, it is of the anatomical, like the real body. So we'll just compare it quickly. So we can see the rectum, and then we can see the uterus, and then the urinary bladder should be there. And all three openings, I already told you. The urinary bladder opens as urethra, and uterus opens as vagina, and then rectum opens as anus. So this is basically the female reproductive system right here. The ovaries, they create the eggs as we know it, and then we have the fallopian tubes, which carry the egg. And then we have uterus, which is also known as the womb. Then we have the lower part of the uterus, which is known as cervix. And now, and in the end, we have vagina, which opens out in the body. And on the right side, it is a real diagram, real picture actually, that how all these things are. So now we'll talk about growing up. So, does anybody know anything about puberty? Anyone? No one. Okay.
Puberty नहीं पता? बोलो फिर से बोलो नहीं ऐसे नहीं.
8th class में पढ़ा होगा, and you all are in 10th standard, so you must be knowing, and some of you might be bright students, so don't be ashamed.
When changes occurs in our body.
Very good. So basically, puberty or growing up is, conversion of a child into an adult. Like we grow up, ऐसे ही एक दिन में तो हम बड़े नहीं हो जाते ना, एक दिन बच्चे थे और एक दिन बड़े हो गए, नहीं. It is a long phase in which we grow up, like our body changes, and there are many changes, and the changes are both in boys and girls. Like many of the boys, their voices have now started to become hoarse, right? Like a man, है ना? And in females, there are many changes, like breast development and occurring of periods, and it's all pretty normal, and we should never be ashamed of it. And anybody has any other idea about puberty? Okay. So basically, this is only like growing up and stuff. So you should know that everybody undergoes it, and it might be a little tough, but yeah.
Next, we'll talk about menstrual cycle. So, what is menstrual cycle? 8th क्लास में रिप्रोडक्शन का चैप्टर होता है ना? तो menstrual cycle क्या होती है? And जो भी पता है वो बताओ.
When the walls of the womb develop to receive the fertilized egg, and if the egg is not fertilized, the walls of the uterus shred and it comes out of the body in form of blood. That's called menstrual cycle.
Very good. Very good. So that is menstrual cycle. So we are going to study menstrual cycle in a little detail. Yes, ma'am.
Cycle are the pituitary gland, the ovaries, and the uterus. Their activities are closely coordinated. Each month, one or other ovary releases a single egg, an event known as
What is this? Egg. Okay. And this is ovary.
ovulation. It is brought about by a series of complex interactions between the pituitary gland, the ovaries, and the uterus.
Where is pituitary gland situated? Brain. Good.
The pituitary gland is itself under the control of this small area of the brain known as the hypothalamus. A new menstrual cycle begins when the nerve cells of this center secrete a hormone called gonadotrophin-releasing hormone, GnRH, into the network of blood vessels which surrounds the pituitary gland. Stimulated by pulses of gonadotrophin-releasing hormone, cells in the pituitary gland secrete another hormone, follicle-stimulating hormone, or FSH.
So क्या बोला इन्होंने कि there is a gland called hypothalamus which is in your brain, and there is a gland called pituitary gland which is also in your brain. So hypothalamus, it releases GnRH which goes to the pituitary, and pituitary gland releases FSH, which is follicular stimulating hormone. What is a follicle? Ovum in early stages of follicle. Stimulating means किसी को stimulus देना, grow करने के लिए. So the name itself tells you what will be the function. What will be the function? Exactly, stimulate the ovary.
FSH helps the egg to mature and prepares it for release. As the follicle matures, the hypothalamus increases secretion of GnRH. This in turn stimulates the pituitary to secrete a second hormone which acts on the ovary. This is luteinizing hormone, or LH. Toward the middle of the cycle, there is a sudden peak in the blood level of
LH is another hormone which is luteinizing hormone secreted by pituitary gland. आपने hormones के बारे में पहले पढ़ा है? पढ़ा हुआ है, अच्छा ठीक है.
LH. This acts as the trigger for ovulation. Within minutes of its release, the egg is guided by suction through the fringed opening of the outer end of the fallopian tube, starting it on a journey which will take 5 or 6 days as it passes down the tube and finally reaches.
Where is this ovum traveling? Fallopian tube. That means you guys are listening. Thank you.
The cavity of the uterus. Meanwhile, after the follicle ruptures, it is converted into this yellowish body known as the corpus luteum. Cells of the corpus luteum secrete the hormone progesterone, which brings about important changes in the lining of the uterus, preparing it for possible pregnancy. In fact, the lining of the uterus, known as the endometrium, undergoes changes in response to hormone levels during the cycle. In the first half of the cycle,
What is corpus luteum? Corpus luteum. फॉलिकल से जब एग निकल गया तो जो पार्ट बच गया वी आर कॉलिंग इट कॉर्पस लूटियम, ठीक है ना. उसका फंक्शन क्या है? इट रिलीजेज अ हार्मोन कॉल्ड प्रोजेस्टेरॉन. एंड व्हाई इज प्रोजेस्टेरॉन इंपॉर्टेंट? इट मेंटेन्स द लाइनिंग और इट यू कुड से it increases the thickness of uterus. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes or no? Yes or no? Louder. Okay.
Known as the follicular phase, the developing follicle secretes increasing amounts of estrogen hormone, which encourages regeneration of the endometrium. After ovulation, there are important changes in the endometrium, aimed at making it suitable to receive a fertilized egg. These changes are brought about by a secretion of progesterone from the corpus luteum. The secretion of progesterone is maintained for several days, but if the egg is not fertilized in that time, the corpus luteum withers, and falling levels of progesterone and estrogen trigger the shedding of the uterine lining as the menstrual flow. The cycle then starts again.
When does ovulation take place? दिखाया मैंने इसमें कब ओव्यूलेशन होता है. Anyone? Middle of the cycle. Which day is your middle of the cycle? कितने डेज की साइकिल होती है? 28 days, right? तो मिडिल क्या हुआ? 14th day, exactly. Why don't you speak? क्या हुआ? डर रहे हो? नहीं, क्यों नहीं बोल रहे? हम इंटरैक्टिव सेशन करेंगे. इसके बाद आई वॉन्ट यू पीपल टू कम एंड आस्क मी क्वेश्चंस. आप मेरे क्वेश्चन का आंसर नहीं दे रहे, मुझसे पूछोगे क्या? वाई एम आई हेयर, राइट? देखो, हम मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स हैं. दिस इज़ माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कि मैं अलग अलग जगह जाऊँ और लोगों से पूछूँ, उनके डाउट्स क्लियर करूँ, ठीक है? तो आपको मुझे कोऑपरेट करना है ना? येस और नो? येस. अच्छा, ठीक है. अब एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ पूछती हूँ मैं, जो शायद आपको नहीं पढ़ाया होगा. हमारी मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल का फर्स्ट डे हम कौन सा काउंट करते हैं? फर्स्ट डे ऑफ पीरियड्स, राइट? तो फर्स्ट डे ऑफ मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल इज फर्स्ट डे ऑफ पीरियड्स. पर ऐसा क्यों होता है? मतलब क्यों हम ब्लीडिंग के फर्स्ट डे को फर्स्ट डे मान रहे हैं एंड नॉट की जब ब्लीडिंग के डेज को हम लास्ट डे माने? नहीं पता होगा, ठीक है, मुझे पता है कि हमारा है, बट फिर भी कोई गेस करना चाहता है? बट नॉर्मली क्या ब्लीडिंग के डेज को साइकिल में लास्ट डेज मान सकते हो ना, कि लास्ट डेज है. वाई फर्स्ट डे ऑफ ब्लीडिंग इज योर फर्स्ट डे ऑफ मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल? कोई भी, ठीक है, कोई नहीं. जो ब्लीडिंग कब होती है? जब यूट्रस में लाइनिंग शेड हो रही है. ओके. ओवरीज में क्या काम हो रहा है? आपका एग डेवलप हो रहा है, फॉलिकल्स डेवलप हो रहे हैं. तो जिस दिन आपकी फर्स्ट डे ऑफ ब्लीडिंग हुआ, उस दिन आपका ओवरीज फिर से स्टिमुलेट होती हैं. तो दैट मीन्स डे 1 ऑफ ब्लीडिंग इज ऑल्सो डे 1 ऑफ स्टिमुलेशन ऑफ ओवरी. सो हम जो बोलते हैं साइकिल के 1 to 29 डेज, वो बेसिकली दे आर बिकॉज ऑफ स्टिमुलेशन ऑफ ओवरी. ओवरी में जो डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है उस डेज को हम काउंट कर रहे हैं. वो बाई चांस की बात है कि वहाँ पे जो डे 1 होता है वो ब्लीडिंग का भी डे 1 है. ठीक है, अब आगे देखते हैं.
But if the egg is fertilized, no menstruation occurs, as the corpus luteum continues to function, secreting progesterone during the first 3 months of the pregnancy. Thereafter, numerous changes occur to support the developing embryo.
ओके तो हम लोग ब्लीड करते हैं, तो किसी को पता, आप ऑब्वियसली पता होगा कि ब्लीडिंग के टाइम लोग क्या यूज़ करते हैं. वी यूज़ सैनिटरी पैड्स, राइट? तो किसी को पता है कि विलेजेस में क्या करते हैं? वहाँ पे सैनिटरी पैड्स का एक्सेस नहीं है, दे डोंट यूज़ सैनिटरी पैड्स. तो क्या यूज़ करते हैं वो लोग? लाउडर? वेरी गुड. तो दे यूज़ क्लोथ्स. पता है आपको ऐसी भी जगह जहाँ पे वो क्लोथ्स भी यूज़ नहीं करते, वो क्या यूज़ करते हैं? कॉटन. ठीक है. ड्राई लीव्स, राइट? वेरी गुड. ड्राई लीव्स. किसने बोला ड्राई लीव्स? वेरी नाइस. सो हाउ दिस, मतलब क्या करते हैं वो? तो उन्हें क्या करते हैं, जो विलेज है ना उसके कॉर्नर में एक रूम्स होते हैं और वहाँ पर आप समझते हो ग्रास डाल देते हैं एंड वुमेन दे वॉक. तो जो भी आपका ब्लीड होता है वो सोक करते हैं वहाँ पर. ठीक है. सो डू यू थिंक इज दिस अ हेल्दी प्रैक्टिस? क्यों, क्या प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है? क्यों लीव्स यूज़ करने में प्रॉब्लम क्या है? कपड़े यूज़ करने में प्रॉब्लम क्या है? इकोनॉमिक है बहुत. कोई भी कपड़ा फाड़ो, वॉश करो, यूज़ इट अगेन, फिर से वॉश करो, अगेन यूज़ इट. वाई आर वी यूजिंग सैनिटरी पैड्स? एग्जैक्टली, टू प्रिवेंट इन्फेक्शंस. तो बहुत ज़्यादा सीरियस इशू है, शायद हमें सुनने में नहीं लगता इतना सीरियस इशू, लेकिन लेस देन 10% वुमेन हैव एक्सेस टू पैड्स इन इंडिया. तो जो इतनी सारी लेडीज़ है, दे आर नॉट यूजिंग पैड्स, दे नॉट यूजिंग टेम्पॉन्स, दे नॉट यूजिंग मेंस्ट्रुअल कप्स. विल टेल यू व्हाट दीज थिंग्स आर, राइट? एंड दे आर यूजिंग क्लोथ. एंड देयर इवन प्लेसेस जहाँ पर मेंस्ट्रुएशन के टाइम गर्ल्स हैव टू सिट अंडर द काउ फॉर 4 days. कैन यू इमेजिन दैट सिचुएशन? नहीं, हम लोग नहीं समझ सकते. तो ये चीज़ होती है. टू प्रिवेंट दिस वी हैव टू यूज़ पैड्स. तो पता है आपको सैनिटरी पैड्स क्या होते हैं? यू नो हाउ टू यूज़ इट? बॉयज़, डू यू नो हाउ टू अप्लाई अ सैनिटरी पैड? No, you don't. Do you know what sanitary pad is? You know what is sanitary. किसी को पता है सैनिटरी पैड के अलावा और क्या यूज़ कर सकते हैं? कोई भी गर्ल जो कुछ और यूज़ करती हो सैनिटरी पैड्स के अलावा? नहीं? टेम्पॉन्स के बारे में सुना है? टेम्पॉन्स क्या होते हैं? बताओ क्या होते हैं?
It's something that you suck up to your vagina to help absorbing the blood.
Exactly. It's something cylindrical. Tampons that look like this, they're cylindrical and absorbent, and you put it inside your vagina. Okay. Do you know about menstrual cups? Menstrual cups, anyone? Next slide. So these are reusable menstrual cups. The best part of it is that like one menstrual cup can last for 1 year. So you have to just use it. The blood comes into the menstrual cup. You wash it. You can reuse it. And another best thing is it is biodegradable. Okay, so many women are going to use menstrual cups in future. Okay, so menstrual related problems. Anyone who before we do menstrual related problems, let's go for a like before knowing all these things. आप लोग कोई पेपर लाए हो? ठीक है, सो एक शीट निकालो एंड ऊपर हेडिंग लिखो प्री इवेंट क्वेश्चनर.